Donna Montague let their firearms licenses expire deliberately, knowing that they would be charged with an offense in order to challenge the constitutionality of the law in court. The husband and wife did this in protest of amendments made to the criminal code after Bill C-68 passed, which required rifle and shotgun owners to register these firearms with the government. And Bruce and Donna felt that this was an infringement on their basic rights. Upon being charged, the Ontario courts rejected his constitutional arguments, and the Supreme Court of Canada denied his appeal. And as a result, Bruce Montague was convicted of 26 offenses involving firearms, while Donna was convicted of 1 offense. Bruce was also sentenced to 18 months in prison plus probation, of which he served 6 months. Keep in mind that the 26 convictions ranged from anything to do with improper storage to filing off serial numbers, but nothing dangerous or violent. Bruce is also now prohibited from possessing firearms, and he wasn't just a gun owner. He was a very well-respected and licensed gunsmith and firearms dealer that serviced guns for clients that included the Ontario Provincial Police from his home-based business. So not only did Bruce serve jail time, but he lost his career in this whole process. But that's not where this story ends. The federal government applied under the criminal code to force the Montagues to forfeit ownership of all of the firearms they own. And this includes Bruce's business catalog, which is valued at over $100,000. And now the Ontario provincial government brought on a civil action claiming forfeiture of the firearms and, get this, the Montagues' home. Derek Frum at the Canadian Constitution Foundation defines civil forfeiture as laws that allow Canada's provincial governments to seize and transfer ownership of property and money without compensation when that property or money is suspected either of being used to commit an unlawful act or of being acquired by committing an unlawful act. And the province of Ontario alleges the guns and home are either proceeds of unlawful activity or instruments of unlawful activity, which is defined in the Civil Remedies Act of 2001. And remember, the Montagues haven't been charged with any dangerous offenses, and Bruce was a licensed gunsmith. I actually had a chance to talk to Derek in person, who worked with Bruce on his case. Here he is explaining the unconstitutionality of civil forfeiture.
In the case of the Montagues, it may be unconstitutional to strip them of their home, of their residence. Because look at it this way, even if Bruce were a criminal, even if he had done something that threatened or harmed people, his house was in no way an instrument of such activity. His house was merely the place where he lived. And it was not the proceeds of any sort of criminal activity either. Because look, if it's going to be the proceeds of criminal activity, then he would have to have benefited in some way from his illegal acts. Bruce and Donna did not benefit in any way from what they did. They did this as an act of civil disobedience. They intentionally broke the law to have their day in court to try the constitutionality of the Firearms Act.
And there are 2 very important things to note about what the government of Ontario did in this case. For one, they were seeking the Montagues' property before any conviction or trial. The order was filed on September 14th, 2005, and Bruce was sentenced on March 18th, 2008. Another peculiar instance included the Ontario government's offer to settle, where they asked Bruce and Donna to deposit $50,000 into a special purpose account in lieu of the forfeiture of their home. And they also imposed a gag order, which read, "The respondents agree that they will not disseminate in any fashion, including through electronic media, the terms of this offer." Here's Derek again on how he interprets the government's actions.
If I were to do that to somebody, if I said to somebody, you know what, I'm not going to take your home if you give me $50,000 and if you never tell anyone about it, that would be illegal for me, but it's okay for the government of Ontario. So the Montagues rejected this offer outright. They view it as extortion, and they went to trial on this particular issue. Or we're hoping not to have to, we're hoping not to have to go to trial on this particular issue, but it's still a possibility.
Civil forfeiture seems like another way for the government to benefit from the proceeds of taking away people's possessions. They can actually sell these possessions for a profit. The original purpose for the legislation was for deterring crime and compensating victims. When the police raided the Montagues' home, they took family heirlooms, books, computers, a video collection, among many other personal items, under the assertion that they were either instruments of crime or obtained with the proceeds of crime. And while Bruce has a criminal record, none of those charges were violent or dangerous offenses. And once again, he was a licensed gunsmith and arms dealer. It simply wasn't enough for Bruce to have paid his debt to society by serving jail time and having his business and career destroyed for acts of civil disobedience and peaceful protesting. Bruce and Donna have now lost their life savings, and now the government wants to take away their home. You may not be a gun owner. You may be against guns. Maybe you simply just don't care about gun rights. But the takeaway from Bruce and Donna Montague's story is that if the government can take away their property, they can take away yours too. For the Rebel.media, I'm Holly Nicholas.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.